Hello, what is happening, people? I'm back with another video. I know I haven't made a video for a few weeks, but I was really busy, and it's the time now to start making videos again. I know it's a summer season and it's not an excuse not to be making videos because some of you guys have been enjoying it thus far. However, today it's Sunday and we're working out again. Today we'll be going to the gym to do a full body workout, but we're gonna be making a workout just with a barbell. Now I know a lot of you guys haven't got a proper access to a gym, for example, and haven't got an access to equipment. And that's the thing. Exercise and going to the gym, building muscle, getting fit should never be taken as something complicated. It's never complicated. Even if you have limited equipment, even if you have just a barbell or you have an access to just a barbell, you can still have a full body workout. There are plenty of exercises that you can use today in order to have a good quality full body workout, right? So you see, there's this perception going on that if you want to build muscle, if you want to get fit, you need to have access to like the best gym with the best machines that you can hit every angle of the muscle, you can hit every muscle group, right? But exercise without the machines is still possible. You can still build a good physique. Like, I've always been a fan of free weights, dumbbells and barbells. The machines work. There's always a purpose and use for machines, but the foundation will always be with free weights, right? Now it depends how you enjoy working out as well, because some people enjoy working out just with machines, and it's absolutely fine. A lot of machines have loads of benefits, right? For building muscle and staying fit. And some people choose machines just because of injuries, right? Because machines help to isolate the muscle in a certain way, whereas free weights are they're more compound, right? So they involve other muscle groups. So for example, if you have problems, let's say with your shoulders, right? Maybe you can't be doing military press because you feel a lot of pain, but you can't do shoulder press in a machine because it isolates those muscles, right? So yeah, today I'm going to be showing you a full body workout just with a barbell. It's going to be really easy, really effective. So I'm just having my coffee now. I have coffee with goat's milk today, and it's Sunday, so we'll be going to the church first, and then afterwards we'll be going to the gym to have our workout. So let's go. All right, so we're just at the gym now. We're gonna start off our full body workout with some squats. So just warming up sets first. Probably about 2-3 sets for a warm up. Make our knees, our ankles lubricated, make our body warm. At the same time, I'm recovering from ankle injury, so I won't be able to go as heavy on squats and leg exercises today. But you see, there's a difference between lifting heavy all the time and also using time and attention. It's just a conversation that I had with a friend of mine the other day, because we were debating sort of and discussing what's the best way of training, and we just came to a conclusion that there's no best way to train. You can use heavy type of training, heavy duty training, and you can also use time and attention in different regards, in different situations, right? So for example, if you're recovering from an injury, or if you got injuries, for example, at the moment, you can still work through them without aggravating them. And that solely depends on the load and also on your body mechanics, right? So if you're lifting and you're feeling the pain, don't do that exercise. Don't do any sort of exercise that will aggravate the pain in either your joints or the muscles or part of the body that is currently injured, right? So this is why when, for example, you want to use time and attention. So I have ankle injury, and if I focus on relatively heavy weight, but also at the same time, I'm using time and attention in order to really work out that muscle, you will reap the benefits, right? But for example, lifting heavy and using progressive overload will lead to a long-term strength and muscle mass gains, because muscles will have to adapt to lifting heavier weights, right? Because the heavier weight you're able to lift, the more your muscle grows and the stronger it grows, because basically your body has to keep up with the demands of your everyday life, right? So if your body thinks that you need to be lifting heavy stuff every single day, your body will grow, the muscles will grow, and they will become stronger just because it's in a demand, right? And once you stop exercising, you stop lifting heavy, those muscles will shrink, because there's no point for your body to keep the nutrients flowing into those muscles, to keep repairing those muscles, and to keep them big. So your body is always adapting. It adapts to different environments, it adapts to different situations, and to different styles of training. This is why it's always not only healthy, but also beneficial to keep changing the way you train. This is why I never train the same all the time. I change my styles of training, I change the weight that I lift, I change different ranges of motion and things like that, because I like my body to be trained and to be exercised in different ways all the time, including mobility ways, including time under tension, including progressive overload and all of that. So, okay, we're gonna begin with some squats. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Warm-up sets first. Man, this rack is really small for me. This is the highest it can go, but it is what it is, man. Okay. Okay, just gonna do 2-3 warm-up sets for squats. I feel like my shorts are gonna rip in a second, so I have to be really careful. But yeah, just gonna do 2-3 sets for warm-up, and then we're gonna be going on a working weight. Okay, so just jumping into some working sets. Hopefully my shorts are not gonna rip. Fairly easy. Gonna be slapping some more weight in a second, but always the first sets that I do, I try and keep lighter, and then I increment the weight on each set. But yeah, as you can notice, I go a bit slower on the eccentric movement when I go down on a negative, just because I can apply more strain and more pressure on my legs. So yeah, these are all controlled reps and a little bit of time under tension. So keep lifting weight in a good form, in the proper form. Make sure your back is straight. Do not arch your back. Your hips are in a good position. And yeah, squat is the most natural movement to all of us as human beings, right? Because we have been squatting for such a long time. So a lot of people, they cannot squat because they don't have enough ankle mobility and knee mobility and also hip mobility, right? So if you want more mobility on your squats, it's just something that you have to keep working on. You have to keep practicing the squats and improve your quad muscles, your hamstrings, your knees, your ankles, and
the mobility. I can't use much of my ankles just because I had an injury. So at the moment, my mobility in my ankles is a bit restricted, but I can still squat, and it's pain-free, basically. So ass to grass squat is what I usually do. And for me, it's full range of motion. Having long legs and then full range of motion exercises really, really puts that pressure. So the focus not only becomes the weight that you're able to lift, but how good you're able to lift the weight that is still relatively heavy, but in a perfect form that you can, or as good as you can without sacrificing the form too much, right? So there's always a fine line between the weight and the form. If you can combine the both, you can lift heavy weight in a good form, you're gonna be making most amounts of gains, and you're gonna reduce the risk of injury at the same time. All right, so that was my last set for squats. We're gonna be jumping into another exercise for the legs, and yeah, just basically keeping it like on compound exercises, because you can't really do much isolation exercises with free weights if you don't have cables, if you don't have dumbbells, or even machines. With dumbbells, you can still do some compound exercises for sure, but the reason why I like compound exercise because they are highly anabolic, which means they really, really make you grow. So if you just stick to the basics, you're able to hit relatively heavy weight on your compound exercises because they involve more than one muscle group, right? So for example, you are doing triceps kickbacks, right? You're only working the medial head of your tricep, but if you're able to do close grip bench press, now that's a compound exercise because you involve the shoulder, you involve the tricep, so you involve 2 or more muscle groups in the exercise, which means it's a compound exercise. All right, so the next exercise for the legs, we have Romanian deadlifts. Now we can either do conventional deadlifts or Romanian deadlifts, but today I prefer hitting more of a hamstring because the squats are hitting quads quite a lot. Now depending on the feet placement as well, but today I feel like I want to focus more on my hamstring, make them a bit, apply more pressure and more load. So we'll be focusing just on good form on Romanian deadlifts. So the first set, not too bad. Ankles are feeling absolutely fine. We're gonna add more weight and go again. All right, so we have the last set of Romanian deadlifts. As you can see, I'm not lifting too heavy today, just because of the injury. I don't want to aggravate it too much, but I'm really focusing on the form and the execution of exercise and my performance, plus mobility. So it's just one of those days where I don't feel like lifting as heavy, but really focusing on the form. And in other days, I just feel like just going all in and just smashing the weights as much as I can. And that's the thing with full body exercises. You won't be doing a lot of exercises for specific muscle groups. So for example, now I have about 2 exercises for each muscle group. Otherwise, my workout would be about 2-3 hours, right? So I try and fit within 1 hour of exercise, do 2 exercises per muscle group. Now, when you think about it logically, right? From a logical perspective. Now, when you hit one muscle group, let's say for 2 exercises, you won't damage the muscle as much. You will still provide the muscle with enough stimulus for it to break down and cause micro tears in the muscle, so they have to be repaired. Now, if you can do that frequently, now that's a long-term recipe for growth, right? Because the muscles are growing not when you're exercising, but when you're resting, when you're recovering. So now if you leave enough room for you to recover in between workouts and in between exercises, you will be growing. Now, it's just full body workouts are not as enjoyable, right? Because you can't really achieve like proper pump on specific muscle groups. So for example, if you're working, let's say, just on shoulders or just on arms or just on chest, and you can have that amazing pump, that amazing, feeling that you have in mind, the muscle connection when you're working on specific muscles, and all the blood flow is rushing right into the muscles that you're working, right? You have a way different feeling, and you enjoy those workouts completely differently from, let's say, full body workouts where you're working your entire body and you can't really focus on specific muscle group because, for example, you start with the legs and then you go in the chest, back, shoulders, and finish up with arms, right? It's a different kind of feeling. So the workouts have to be efficient and they have to be enjoyable at the same time. This is why we always try and work out in a way that is most beneficial for us, where we can grow, where we can get stronger, but also enjoy those workouts at the same time. Because if you don't enjoy the workouts that you're doing, you're not going to be forcing yourself in coming to the gym, right? You're not going to be enjoying your workout. So why go? Why go to the gym and work out, right? If you don't enjoy what you do. So it's the same thing with the diet. If you don't enjoy foods that you're eating, you're not going to be sticking to that. And the same thing goes for the workouts as well. All right, so the next exercise we have is we're going to be working on bent over rows. So the idea of my full body workout today is to start with major muscle groups such as legs, and then we go into the back, and we go into the chest, shoulders, and arms. So from the biggest muscle groups to the smallest. This is how we're going to be working today. So back straight. Okay, now when I do bent over rows, I make sure to keep about a 45-degree angle. Knees are slightly bent, I push my hips back, and then when I row, I either have overhand or underhand grip, and then I just row into my belly button. But I row with my elbows, not with my hands and the forearms. I use my hands only as hooks, and then I row straight into the belly button. Then I give it enough stretch on the way down, and you just repeat it. Make sure you do it in the proper form, in a good form, and you will feel not only the pump, but you will definitely feel your back working. Now, we're gonna jump into another exercise for the back. Now you see, I could have done pull-ups, but otherwise it wouldn't be full body workout just with a barbell, right? So we're gonna be doing some single hand rows. All you need to do is just put a barbell one end into the wall. You can add some weight on top so the barbell doesn't move. And the way I like to do it is to grab the barbell with a single hand, keep your back straight, and just keep rowing, just like if you would do single hand rows with a dumbbell. And then you just change sides. And that's it pretty much. This is how we perform single arm rows with a barbell, just grabbing one end, using it as a dumbbell. So if you don't have dumbbells, you only have a barbell, you can use the same variation for single arm rows. Now it allows us to isolate the muscle a little bit more than, let's say, when we do bent over rows, but nevertheless, still amazing exercise to be building that thickness and width on your back. All right, so time for our bench exercise. Now for the chest, I'm just gonna be doing flat bench press and incline bench press because it helps to work out most of the area of the pectorals. So we're gonna be working the overall chest for strength and power when we do flat bench press, and we're gonna be focusing on the upper chest as we do the incline bench press. So let's bench. All right, so we have our incline bench press. This is definitely not my heaviest session today, but still putting in work. Ooh, feels good. As you can see, I'm lowering. As I lower the weight, I slow down, and then I go back up. I slow down, I go back up, because you have more strength on the eccentric movement than on the concentric. When you push, you have less strength than when you lower the weight. So you can utilize that. You can slow down on the negative as you stretch the muscle, and then you can use explosive movement to go back up. Now it's a different kind of training, different style of training. You can implement it always. It's going to be beneficial because your workouts are going to be different. So yeah, we're going to be doing some bench press, and after incline, we're going to be jumping into some shoulders and arms. Okay, so we have some military press, another great compound exercise for the shoulders. Now, when I perform this exercise, I try not to swing too much from my ankles. I keep the glutes tight, keep my lower back tight, and just press. Try and keep your body as tight as possible when you do it, because that will allow more isolation. So yeah, we're gonna be doing some military press, and then after another shoulder exercise, we're just gonna be hitting some arms quickly. Okay, so another shoulder exercise is gonna be some upright rows. Now we hold our bow shoulder width apart and all the way to the chin. Whew, another great exercise for shoulders. Now you can use different variations, different grip. Obviously, the closer the grip, the easier it is to row it into your chin. And the wider grip is a bit more difficult, but it just focuses on different load on different parts of the shoulder. I like the median shoulder width grip. You can also do wider grip, which will focus more on your rear delts, but the medium grip for me, shoulder width apart, is absolutely fine. All right, so basically the best compound bicep exercise. We're gonna be doing some barbell curls. Nice. Now, there isn't like the best exercise for anything. Like sometimes some exercises might feel better than others, but nevertheless, all exercises work. So for example, if I'm doing barbell curls, I don't feel as much load on my biceps. When I have the, let's say, shoulder width grip, I might go either wider or more narrow. So switching up the angles, switching up the weights, increasing the time under tension as you lower the weight might also bring different feeling and different benefits. Maybe more pump, maybe less, maybe you need to add more weight, maybe you need to do faster reps, right? So you always keep switching things up. That's how I see it. You never settle to just one type of training. You train in many different ways because your body is so adaptable. And it also makes it more enjoyable for you, if you know what I mean, as you come up with different ways to exercise. All right, so just gonna do some triceps extensions to finish it off. All right, so I haven't done a physique update for a while now. So this is how I currently look like, about 118 kilograms. Quite lean for the summer actually. But yeah, this is the current physique update after full body workout. Yeah, just been focusing a lot on mobility, cardio, doing Muay Thai at the same time, but so far so good.
All right. So we're back home now. We just washed these chicken breasts, and my source of protein today will be chicken and eggs for a post workout meal. So I like to switch the different sources of protein that I consume. All my major sources of protein are all animal products. So it's either lamb, beef, chicken, or sometimes pork. So I also have eggs pretty much every single day. So egg is perhaps the best source of protein that is available for us as human beings. Not only because it's high in protein, also high in cholesterol, it's high in fat, which is not bad for us. Fat is actually really good for you. It's good for your hormones. It's good for many different things. It's also full of nutrients and minerals. So I would have like 8-10 eggs a day, not a problem. Well, some people might say, well, you're eating too many eggs. Having more than 3 eggs is not good for you. But again, those are the same people who eat ultra processed food, which I try and stay away from, you know? So having nutritious food is not bad for you. Like, why wouldn't you have something that is so good for you? Why wouldn't you have more of it, right? It's a complete protein, it's highly saturating, it's healthy, helps you to recover and make gains in the gym, right? So, okay, so I've got these chicken breasts now sliced. I'm just gonna add some sea salt. I use sea salt pretty much in everything because I like salt so much. And it's also good source of sodium. A little bit of pepper, just keeping it really basic. Different kinds of, this is a black pepper, so I'm just adding some on top, and I'm gonna marinate it with a little bit of drizzle of olive oil, just for it to have better consistency. So when I fry these chicken breasts, which I'm going to fry in lard, I don't use any type of oils or anything. I either use butter, ghee, which is liquid butter, or lard, which comes from animal fat. In this case, this is like pork lard. But sometimes I use beef tallow as well. So the reason why I don't use any sort of oils when I cook or fry food, if you want to, like, olive oil has high burning temperature, so olive oil in a way could be used for cooking, but I try and use olive oil for, like, if I add it, let's say for marination, like if I marinate meat or something, or if I want to add a little bit of olive flavor to my dishes, then I would use olive oil. Apart from that, I only cook in lard or ghee, just because they have high burning temperature, so they don't oxidize. Because if you use like rapeseed or canola oil, their burning temperature is pretty low, and when they oxidize, they produce these fumes that are basically not good for you, you know? So even the chemical structure changes of that oil when they oxidize, which I believe, because it's a linoleic acid, I believe high amounts of linoleic acid is bad for you. It's bad for your health, it's bad for the gut. So I try and stay away from any sort of vegetable or seed oils. I don't think they're fit for human consumption, even though a lot of people have this perception that somehow vegetable or seed oil is less fatty. Like, look, it's still fat, right? You still need
to consume fat in your daily diet because you need it for your health, you need it for your hormones, and for your brains at the same time. So if you're consuming fat, why don't you consume fat that is highly bioavailable to you and it doesn't do any harm to your body, right? That's why when you take any advice, let's say you find on the internet, even in this very video, always be skeptical and always check, always verify for yourself whether that suits your lifestyle and your approach to health or it doesn't, because that's what I do. If I don't like something, I would not follow it, but if something made sense for me, then I would go and do it. Okay, so we marinated our chicken now. I'm just gonna leave it in the fridge for a little bit and then fry it, fry some eggs on the side, and I'll catch you in a bit. All right, folks. So I don't know why I have 2 forks, but one is for the fruit. But it's time for a big boy meal, post-workout meal. So I have 6 eggs here. I have those 2 big breasts of chicken, and I have the whole pineapple. I did have a few slices already though, because I was so hungry. But yeah, this is gonna be my post-workout meal, and as I've mentioned previously, I try and change my sources of protein. Predominantly comes from animal products such as dairy, meat, eggs, right? So eggs, I mean, I love eggs. I pretty much have eggs every single day, at least about 10 a day. So sometimes I switch between fish, could be tuna, could be sea bass, or then I would go into, let's say, poultry, which is chicken or turkey. But because these meats are so lean, they don't have too much fat. That's why I feel like whenever I eat source of protein that doesn't contain too much fat, I don't feel satiated enough. That's why obviously eggs, they're higher in fat. They have good amount of cholesterol as well. So that's why eggs and chicken breast combined, I mean, it tastes good as well. And I kept the yolk a bit runny. As you can see, it's still yellow and still runny, so you can just simply dip the chicken breast and it just tastes so good, man. Very easy to make, simple meals. Now when you fry chicken breast, don't overdo it because it's just gonna get too dry. So still keep it a little bit moist inside, and if you fry it, don't fry it on a very high heat. Try and keep I don't know, obviously above medium for sure. So my cooker has got like 9 levels, so I keep it at around 7. 9 is like the hottest, so I keep it at around 7 and it just cooks really, really well. So I'll have this meal now. I'll have my fruit as a source of carbohydrates for a post-workout recovery. And that's it. That's my meal number 1 of the day.